Subtraction compensation or same change review. Remember, in subtraction compensation, in order to keep the difference the same, you must do the same thing to both numbers. So subtraction compensation equals same change. Do the exact same thing to both numbers. If you don't do the same thing, your difference or your answer will be different. So remember, do the same thing. And again, remember that compensation should make the problem easier. If you're doing something really hard to make the problem easier, don't do it. Use a different strategy. All right, we have 62 subtract 49. Remember, we want to do the same thing, but we also love to subtract zeros. So I am going to add a 1 to the 49. Remember, if I add a 1 to that number, I have to add a 1 to that number, because we're doing the same thing, the same change. So 62 plus 1 equals 63. 49 plus 1 equals 50. Notice this is a subtraction problem, so I'm going to subtract. 63 subtract 50 equals 13. Now let's check and decide, is this a good problem? Did we do something that was easy to do? Adding 1 was easy to do. It also gave us a 0, so this is a wonderful problem to compensate on, because what we did was easy and it gave us an easier problem. So great job. 81 subtract 65. Again, we want a 0 there. I'm going to add 5's partner, which is 5, because that will give me a 0 in the ones place. I'm now going to add 5 to the top number, because remember, subtraction compensation means we have to do the same thing. Otherwise, we're changing the difference between the two numbers. 81 plus 5 equals 86. 86 minus 70 equal 16. Again, adding 5 was easy to do, and it gave us an easier problem, so it was a great strategy to do. Remember, pause the video and do these, and then check back. So make sure you have something to work with. 84 minus 56. Again, I'm going to add 6's partner to 10, which is 4. Therefore, I will add it to the top number as well, because I'm going to do the same thing. 84 plus 4 equals 88. 56 plus 4 equals 60. I'm subtracting because this is a subtraction problem. 88 subtract 60 equals 28. Again, that is much easier than trying to work with another strategy, because adding 4 was an easy thing to do. Now we're on 134 minus 76. There's a couple different ways we can do this problem. Part of it depends on how well you know your partners. I'm just going to add 4 to get 80. And then I will add 4 to 134 and get 138. Now, some of you can do that subtraction problem. You can look at 138 and subtract 80 and know the answers. Some of you might still be stuck, so you can add a 20. We can double compensate or compensate again. And now we have 158 minus 100, which is 58. Now, if you know your partners, you could just compensate at one time. So 76 plus 24 equals 100. That's my partner to 100. Therefore, I will add 24 up there and get 158 and subtract. Notice it gets me to the exact same place, but up here it took me 2 compensating. I had to add 4 and then add 20. If you know your partners, you can just add it to get to the next 100, because getting to the next 100 is actually easier than doing that problem. 164, subtract 89. Again, if you know your partners to 100, just add an 11, because subtracting 100 is super easy. If I add an 11 there, I will add an 11 there and get 175. 175 minus 100 equals 75. Again, notice adding 11 was easy and subtracting 100 was easy. So it's an excellent problem to compensate on if you know your partners to 100. 235 minus 67. Let's add 33 because that's my partner, and add 33 because remember I have to do the same thing. So this equals 268 minus 100 equals 68. Now, I am one who loves to go to my hundreds. I know my partners, so I love to go to 100. Here's another reason why. Let me show you if I just added a 3 and took it to the next 10. I would get 238 minus 70. And honestly, whoops, I need to add a 100 up there. I just realized that I had a 200 minus a 100. Notice, when I have 238 minus 70, that's pretty hard for me to do in my head, which is why I like to go to 100s. But just be more careful than I was and make sure you're paying attention to your hundreds. 365 minus 179. I'm going to add my partner to the next 100, which is now 200. I'll add 21 to that and get 300. I'm going to write it more neatly. 386. Subtract and get 186. Again, adding 21 was not hard. Subtracting 200 was definitely not hard. So it's easy to compensate if you know your partners to 100. I'm going to add 32 because that gets me to the next 100, which is 300. I will add 32 up there, which gets me to 485. Subtract, and you're left with 185. Keep practicing this. Compensation with addition and subtraction is a great strategy, but you really do need to know your partners because that's how you get to all those zeros we will do. Have a great day.